Hey everybody, it's MJ again. I know you guys have missed me so much. Aaron got another household consulting and he asked me to read it to you guys. I have not read his response, but I have a feeling that I'm going to be a lot harsher, or maybe we're on the same page as this, so I'm kind of curious to see how his response mirrors mine. So here's the request. It says, "Hi Aaron, first of all I want to say that I've been reading your book Bachelor Pad Economics and it has helped me a lot, thanks. So this is my situation and I only need the cold hard truth." Okay, you're asking for it. "So my ex-girlfriend, whom I've known for 15 years, has had problems with her marriage since last year. Her husband had cheated on her 5 to 6 times and she was bouncing back and forth between him and I. One minute she's done with him and wants to be with me, and the next is, 'I can't, Joe, I don't want to hurt you.' Her dad and I have told her to leave him, but she would say the classic, 'but I love him.' Yeah. Now she lives in Florida and I live in Pennsylvania. When she and her husband had separated, she had asked me to come visit her and I did. We had sex. I met her daughter, who's 6 years old, and it seemed great. At the end of June, she signed the divorce papers and went back to Puerto Rico, where she's originally from. By then, she started distancing herself from me. Then last month, she told me that she and her husband were getting back together. I saw it coming a mile away. Now here's the thing. She says she wants to be friends, which I told her no, because it's bullshit and we've been sexually attracted to each other in the past. She wants us to be friends and that she's trying to fix her marriage for the 6th or 7th time, yet she talks to me almost every week. And she still wants to see me, but is afraid of getting caught, though she tells me she doesn't want to become like her husband. Any advice on how to handle this is greatly appreciated." One last thing I forgot to mention about my ex. She has always suffered with depression, and in the past I have been Captain Save-A-Ho and her emotional tampon. Big mistake on my part. She told me 2 weeks ago that she's still depressed and emotionally all over the place. Is it a bullshit excuse? More than likely. Anyway, I look forward to hearing what you have to say. I might have to thank Terrence Pop at redonkulous.com for promoting your work. Anonymous. Yeah, I would want to keep my name anonymous too if I was this stupid. So you want the cold hard truth. Here it comes. You're a complete dumbass, okay? You're a dumbass little bitch at that, okay? And I'm going to pull back the hood and the crazy Caribbean and present my argument in a way that hopefully you can understand. So, in life, it's a good measure to look at things on a scale. And I'll use, the lady on the scale of justice, right? Is something just or is something unjust? And this applies to work, relationships, politics, every area of your life. Am I doing something justly, or am I doing an injustice to myself and or others? First of all, I think most people would probably assume that I'm going to call her a whore, and she's a whole separate bag of issues. But you're the one who has a fucking issue because you keep going back to this, okay? You knew she was married, and yet you've allowed yourself to become the mistress, okay? Who does that? Like, why? Why put yourself in that position? It's not even love, you know? It's one thing if you met somebody and you didn't know they were married, or they lied to you and said that they were divorced and turns out that they're only separated or something like that. You know, then you can kind of wash your hands and be like, well, that person lied to me, I thought XYZ, and that's the only reason I was in a relationship with them or anything like that. But in your case, it's totally the opposite. You knowingly and willingly have put yourself and wedged yourself in their relationship, knowing that she's married, she's got emotional baggage, and yet you continue and you thrive. It's all three of y'all, because the husband is apparently a cheater too. So all three of y'all are thriving off of this. Just from a relationship standpoint, all of it is trash. All of it's toxic, all of it's trash. All three of y'all are an emotional train wreck. Okay, you literally willingly drive your car, which is yourself and your heart and your soul, on the train tracks, and all the red lights are coming on, the bars, the hands are down, you know the emotional shitbag storm is coming at 110 miles an hour because she's Puerto Rican and all of us in the Caribbean are batshit crazy to some extent, okay? So you know this emotionally unstable 110-mile-an-hour train is coming, and you willingly and knowingly park your car and yourself on the track to be hit by it, okay? That is fucking crazy, okay? This is why I make a better friend than I would a therapist, okay? Because what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you do that to yourself? Now, none of us are perfect, right? We've all done this and then realized later, like, oh my God, what was I thinking? Like, why did I do that? I'm kind of curious how old you are, because I think that might play a factor into it. Because if you're younger, I feel like those are lessons that you learn in your 20s. And I mean early 20s usually, okay? So that by the time you're 30 and 40, you're an adult. But I feel like both of y'all, or all three of y'all, because again, she keeps going back to the husband and he keeps cheating, and then she's going back to you and you're the other man, or the mistress in this case, which is weird because it's usually the other way around, right? Women get emotionally dependent and go back to the people that continue to manipulate and hurt them. But in this case, it's different because it's a man. But drama has become the nicotine of y'all's relationship. So what happens with nicotine or any other substance, right? You have a little bit and you get a little high, and then the next time you have to have that much more nicotine to get an even bigger high. So I don't know if it's makeup sex that's driving this or what the situation is, but you guys, you've let her and her insecurities, which is like tar, just stick all that tar, oops, my camera fell, stick all that tar and all her insecurities onto you. And now her insecurities have stuck you to her in a way, because you guys are in this very codependent, toxic, drama-filled relationship. What should you do? I mean, you admitted that you've been her emotional tampon, and yet you can't disconnect yourself. So to me, it's almost worse knowing that you have issues and not doing anything about it than being in denial or even being ignorant, right? So ignorance is bliss. You can be like, oh, that person's just dumb. They can't help themselves. They're stupid, which I agree to a certain extent, but don't agree. So I'm not saying I give stupid people a pass by any means, but you know that she's no good. And because you've let yourself become attached to someone who is no good, you are now filthier than her. Do you understand that? You are now more of a whore than both of them, because you've let her and her toxicity and her drama and all of her insecurities, and every time she needs an ego boost, you're there like a little puppy dog, like, yeah, I'll pet you, or you can pet me, or yeah, I'm here. Like, why haven't you blocked her number? Why haven't you told her to go fucking kick rocks and never talk to you again, that you have self-respect and that you refuse to be the mistress, and that she obviously doesn't know what she wants and can't make herself happy, much less you or anybody else happy, so she has no business fucking talking to you? Why haven't you done that? You're addicted to the drama. You're addicted to the drama. This happens all the time. It's like nicotine. You keep going back and every situation gets worse and worse, right? Like, it's never better. Like, you never come down from a substance. It's always, you've got to increase it because of that high. You know, when you fight and you've got all this anguish and you guys go have fucking makeup sex and you're like, oh my God, that was the best sex ever because, you know, we got it all out. You know, that's nothing about that is healthy. Okay? Nothing about that is healthy. I'm not saying that you don't have a bad day and you don't like, oops, I'm not really sure what's going on with my bangs, that you guys don't, you know, go fuck out the stress. Okay? That's perfectly normal in a relationship. But this is not normal. This is not normal. This is not healthy. You've let her corrupt your heart. And I never really understood when I was younger what people meant by guard your heart. And it's because every time you let someone drag you into their toxic, into their tar, into their ugliness, into their bitterness, that chips away at who you are as a person. That chips away from your goodness. That chips away from your ability to love freely and without, you know, not necessarily hesitation. You know, there's expectations in the sense of standards, okay? There's standards, right? You've let her basically destroy any integrity that you may have had. And by continuing to allow yourself to be her point of contact for an ego boost when she's on her fucking period says more about you than it says about her. Because a behavior allowed is a behavior taught. And you're teaching her that every time she doesn't feel good about herself, or her shitty husband or ex-husband at this point doesn't give her the attention that she wants, that she can run to you and you're going to be there for her. So what should you do? What you should have done fucking years ago, you'd probably save yourself a lot of grief, and you probably would have met a good girl, but you were so wrapped up in all this bullshit that she was like, no. You know, any girl that has her shit together, who's got a great job, who's maintaining herself, who doesn't have a lot of debt, would see your bullshit from a mile away and would never take you seriously and or date you. If we went on a date and you brought this up, or I found out about it weeks in, I would just politely tell you, you know what, I think we are, you know, what would I say? I would probably just be like, you know what, I'm just really not interested. I mean, I've had to tell people straight out, like, you know, I appreciate, you know, that you like me. It's always flattering, right? When people like you or find you attractive, but I'm just not interested. Because no one is going to take you seriously when you are presenting just as many issues as whoever this chick is. It's ridiculous. So block her ass. Don't fucking delete her number from your phone so you're not tempted to unblock her and see if she sent you messages. And that's it. You don't even have to tell her you don't want to talk to her anymore, because then you're just opening up another can of worms. You're giving her a reason to convince you to still stay friends. Y'all will never be friends, okay? Y'all will never be friends. She is emotionally inept, and you have issues of codependency. Okay, so block her fucking ass. Don't even tell her that you're doing it. Delete her number and try to find peace in your life again. Okay, and learn, and don't let some bitch make you a mistress. Like, that's why I said you're a dumbass little bitch, because you're acting like the girls that we see in movies. Like, you're like, oh no, he's really gonna leave his wife for me. Like, you know, he took me out to dinner, so that must mean that things are getting serious. Like, no, bitch, no, okay? She's never gonna leave him, and even if she does, why would you want to stick around for the emotional fucking train wreck again that keeps hitting you and hitting you and hitting you, okay? She needs to deal with her depression, and she needs to heal herself. Like I said, if you can't make yourself happy, you're not gonna make anybody else happy, so delete her fucking number, block her, don't ever talk to her again. Or you're just asking for it and you're wasting Cappy's time. He could be ending world hunger, but instead he's sitting here answering your stupid fucking questions. Okay. All right. So I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. It's like, oh, I fell, you know, oh my God, I'm on fire. I'm on fire. And it's like, oh, what happened? Oh, I walked into the flames. I was like, well, then you deserve to be on fire. So, all right. So here's Cappy's response. It says, Dear Anonymous, the problem I face is that I desperately want to cuss at you and give you such a verbal beating that you would be crying at this moment. Uh-oh, I think I did that. Unfortunately, I have the lovely Marijo reading this, so I do not want to tarnish her image with cursing, swearing, dreams of beating sense into you, etc. So I'm going to have to be civil and polite. Uh-oh. I'm pretty sure I cussed for about a third of that rant. So, sorry, Aaron. You are a weakling, coward, and a pussy. I do not have to delve into nor ask about your dating past, because there is likely none, especially if you're contemplating, nay, fretting over whether or not you should date this piece of human trash. This is a married woman for now. She has cheated on her husband with you and him on her. She has a kid. She lives off the mainland U.S. for now. She is so spineless, moralless, pointless, and bankrupt of value, she is constantly trying to find other people to provide her that value, thus hemming and hawing between you and her husband. You are no different than her. Oh, Cappy and I agree. And I'm not even talking about banging a married woman. I'm all for that. Damn it, Cappy. No, stay away from married people. There's so many other people. Morals have very little to do with your decision. It's that your life is so freaking pathetic, that you have so little else going on in life, that you are willing to settle and lower your standards to the point you are actually going to entertain dating such a low value, fucked up person. Worse, I could understand if you were just using her for sex, but Jesus H. Christ, this is the foremost thing on your mind. Stop being a goddamn pussy. Start getting some goddamn standards. Start hitting the gym, start getting some hobbies, start dating some other girl who are not 50 Shades of fucked up. Oh, I like that one. That's funny. Okay. Start improving yourself, however that may be, that you are not dependent on morally or mentally crippled people like this in your life. So that you are not dependent and morally and mentally crippled people. So that you are not dependent. Oh, yeah. Okay. Cut off all communication, never talk to her again, and start creating your own value in your life where you are not dependent on other people to deliver it for you. Cappy. Mia. I guess Cappy gets these a lot because I was really upset when I read that. And he definitely summarized it better than I did, but I was just giving you from a woman's perspective, and I mean, everything Cappy says is true. We agree almost line for line. Like, like, why is your whole world revolving around this woman? Like, Cappy's right. Like, you don't have anything else going on in your life. You're just focused on her. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, like, what are your hobbies? What are you doing? I mean, and if you were dating, like Cappy said, he's not going to ask you about your past love life, but if you were dating, did this come in between of that? You know, were you breaking up with people because she ran back to you and you guys were talking again? And that's I'm kind of curious, but not curious at the same time, because like Cappy said, stop being a goddamn pussy. All right, guys, so if you have any more requests and you want me to read them and sound off on it, let me know, or let Cappy know. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.